السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشرك في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين. Inshallah, we are continuing to study the 22nd word of the book, which is called The Words. This is the 22nd section, and we are ready to listen to Anne's summary of the last week and presentation of the subject.
Inshallah. So we actually just started the 9th class last week, and we spent almost the whole class period on just the first maybe paragraph. It's a very interesting subject to get at the bottom of, and that is the way that the scientists describe the world, which is what they observe. And they see essentially a first causing a second, causing a third, through a process we all know is called cause and effect. And in this class and in Nursey's book, we're contrasting that with continuous creation, which means that there's no cause and effect. For example, if you look at the seed that becomes a shoot, that becomes a plant, instead of cause and effect, what we talk about is that the seed has the quality of one entity, and the resulting shoot has the quality of another entity, and the plant has yet the quality of another entity. The seed doesn't have the quality to design the shoot, just as the shoot doesn't have the quality to design the plant. What's needed is a special order or planning in the form of a creator. So scientists call the cause and effect continuous existence of matter in a different form. It just continues in a different form. Whereas in this class, we talk about continuous creation, that the seed doesn't have the quality to design the shoot. So it takes a new creation to create the shoot. And then I raised the question about whether doesn't the seed contain all the information it needs encoded with everything it needs to become a shoot? And for me, the important statement, the answer to that was that the written information can't be the reason for existence, because who wrote the information recorded in the cell in the first place? So therefore, it needs a creator. So it was quite a really interesting discussion comparing the scientist's worldview of existence versus a believer's worldview of existence. And I think we left the class feeling pretty clear. We understood the difference. And that's where we left off.
Yeah. Thank you. Every stage of the existence at every moment is a different existence. Similar, but not the same. So the change needs intention. Change needs power to change it. It doesn't change by itself because the matter has no will, no power to change itself. So the universe is created in such a way that matter, energy, everything needs to be given existence. And these creatures have their own qualities. Each of them are different from the others. And these qualities cannot be found in matter. Matter itself needs to be given existence. So every stage of each being, it is so beyond imagination that we cannot imagine who is doing it. By likening it to anything of this universe, who is doing it, we cannot imagine. But somebody is acting in the universe. Something is acting in the universe, which has the power to create, knowledge to organize everything, will to choose as he wills. So the universe can only be explained in this way because every single being, as the text says, has a different quality. And this quality needs to be designed and given existence. Designing needs to free will and knowledge. What am I going to do? And design needs, if the design is meaningful, definitely a conscious being must be doing it. And also, they need to be manufactured. It means given existence, created. So they are given a new kind of existence. That is what we have to be careful and pay attention to the quality of the new existence at every moment at two stages, at two scales. One is universe space-wise scale is continuously changing, and also each and every being is created specifically with its specific existence. This is impossible to explain, saying that the things are happening by itself as a result of consequence effect of cause and effect relationship. Impossible. So because they call it cause, doesn't have the quality to create, to know, to choose, to give a perfect design, beautiful, purposeful existence. It is impossible. So we will read now in the following as a summary now in short and to conclude of this section of the piece that we are reading. And inshallah, we will continue to think about it, reflect on it, and if we have any question, you are most welcome to share with us, inshallah. Or any comment you would like to make, feel absolutely free. No limitations, just speak. Here is a free discussion. We are just discussing in a friendly way. You can
Okay.
read it now.
Yes, I'll start. In short, the conformity and similarity in basic members between all the individuals of a species and all the species of a genus prove that they are the works of a single maker, because the unity of the pen and oneness of the seal requires this. Similarly, the observable absolute ease and lack of difficulty require, indeed necessitate, that they are the works of one maker. Otherwise, difficulties rising to the degree of impossibility would doom the genus and the species to non-existence.
Now, as you were reading, I was smiling because uh, any Western reader will say, oneness of the seal requires this. Why? Because this conformity and similarity in basic members. Why? Because they are the works of, sorry, um, what was the because? Yeah, the works of a single maker, because the the unity of the pen and oneness of the seal requires this. So a Western reader will say, what are you talking about? What is the pen here? And what is seal? What does it mean? So this is the figurative way of describing. It is then, I mean, Eastern culture, you call it, or those people who think in an Arabic language construction way. So it is just describes everything not straight by making similar with something else. So the unity of the pen means the source, because the author has in his mind the universe looks like a book. And of course, we know that every paragraph of the book is different. Every sentence of the paragraph is also different. Every word of the sentence is also different. Every letter of the word is also different. So every letter must be intentionally chosen and written. Chosen in order to choose what is needed, free will. In order to write what is needed, power. That the pen represents this. But I don't think at first, if someone is not familiar with kind of description, they would understand nothing. They would say, what is he talking about? Meaningless. So oneness of the seal, again, another problem for the Western readers. Not only Western readers, actually, who are not familiar with this description of the way the Arabic language describes and speaks. They don't straight away speak. So they make always some sort of similes, analogies. So maybe Persians also use this kind of language. Otherwise, we have to understand and get used to it. Now, in short, to emphasize on conformity and similarity, but we have to be careful. Conformity doesn't mean that they confirm the message. Each being, let's give an example. Each bird, in and of itself, alone, confirms that I am a special creation. My design is special, my existence is special, but not only once. Once the bird is given existence, it doesn't mean that this existence continues itself. No, it changes continuously. It is a baby, maybe in the form of an egg and then cell at the beginning, and then stages of perfect, orderly changes in their existence. but at the same time, they look like the older species or genus of the same kind of beings, especially it is obvious in among the living beings. We see that the birds look like each other, but each of them are different. They are similar, but not exactly the same. That is interesting. So all the individuals of a species, all the individuals of a species, and all the species of a genus prove that they are the works of a single maker. As if this looks like misleading. Why? But creating them similar each other, it's similar everything similar to each other within the same species, and the birds are flying in the same way, but every bird has its own unique way of life. As if people may fall into the trap of, they just happen, all of them are like this, accidentally happen to be in this way. But if we pay close attention to it, that is a demonstration that they are all the works of a single maker. It means they are created by the same source because of the similarity. Whoever made a sparrow made the pigeon because they are made in the same way, although different. That is something conformity and similarity needs to be borne in mind. Otherwise, we may think that they are just affecting, as Anne presented at the beginning, they seem to be affecting each other because, a little bit change. So let's say a speech changed in a slight way in its existence and became a pigeon. And pigeon changed a little bit, became a, I don't know, falcon. So develop, but all of them are unique in their existence. They are all unique in their existence. And never, a pigeon can never be like an eagle. Impossible. Eagle is a completely different design and different creation. Not only this design, also given existence. You can design something, but you have to manufacture it. Example. So design itself cannot give existence to the thing itself. So designing needs, yes, conscious choice, but giving existence needs the will and heart to give existence, willing to create. So giving existence is impossible to explain. Nothing can give existence to anything in this universe. Nothing of this universe can be the source of existence of anything. That is my mantra. Nothing of the universe has any quality to give existence to anything which didn't exist. But every stage of existence of, let's say, a pigeon is another creation, another manufacture. So I cannot say that, this model of the computer is just a little bit different from the previous model. So the previous model somehow developed, improved itself, and became adapted to the, updated itself into a new model, accidental happening, the result of accidents or adaptations or and conformity to the needs of the users. They don't know. They are just unconscious matter, like anything of this universe. So if there is a little bit difference, but a perfect existence of another model of the computer, human mind definitely says this is a new design, plus this is a new manufacturing. It means human beings manufacture. But in the universe, new design, new creation. It means giving a existence to a new form design. So design cannot come into existence by itself. That is what another trap of this materialist, naturalist people understanding. As if, this is the design, we can see the codes here. All right. Can they create? As I mentioned this morning at the beginning of the discussion. So this knowledge or the blueprint of a building cannot be the source of existence of the physical building existing out there. Impossible. Unfortunately, that is how they are presenting and misleading people's minds. So this similarity must be used in a way that they are the works of a single maker, coming from the same source with the same qualities of the creator, same qualities of the source. So you have to say, whoever made the sparrow, created the sparrow, must be the creator of the pigeon, must be the creator of the eagle or the falcon, whatever the kind, the species of the birds that we can see, thousands of them, but all different from each other. We cannot say that the mosquito developed itself by adapting itself to its environment and upgrading its being. They call it some names, they put some names on it. And this is what evolving itself and became flies became pigeon. But if you look at them, they look like each other. Yes, correct. The way they fly to each other, but each of them has it is unique. Everything is unique. The way they fly, the way they live, the way they are fed, the way they reproduce new generations, and the way they make their nests, the way they defend themselves. All of them are completely different from each other, but when you look at them, they fly uh, according to the same law, same principle. It means same principle is applying itself completely different way in every single being in the universe. It needs choice, it needs production, power. We call it creation. That's why, as Anne said, continuous creation that must be taken seriously and thought about it, understand that as a result of this continuous acts of creation with no break, with no inconsistency, perfectly continuing creating the universe must be the evidence of the source of existence to be an absolute being. Otherwise, we cannot explain the existence as we experience here. Any more comment? No, no question. We can continue if you don't have.
Okay. To conclude, if all things are ascribed to Almighty God, they become as easy as a single thing, while if they are attributed to causes, they become as difficult as everything. Since it is thus, the extraordinary profusion observed in the universe and the boundless abundance before our eyes display a stamp of unity like the sun. If these fruits which we obtain in such abundance were not the property of the single one of unity, we would not have a single pomegranate to eat, even if we gave the whole world for it.
Anything you understood from this conclusion? Anyone? Any one of us?
Well, I'll just say that the continuous existence, I'm sorry, the continuous creation
Mhm.
is so easy. There's, like you pointed out a moment ago, there's not a single error,
Mhm.
a single blip, which given the continuous creation of so many thousands and thousands of things, it would be absolutely impossible not to have a planner or a designer or a maker behind all of that.
So we can, if we say that the things are improving themselves by um, adapting themselves to their environment, so each of them must know the whole universe and how the universe works. So I wouldn't speak more. Yes, Qasim. I love to hear our friends' voices. Go ahead, Qasim.
Assalamualaikum. I had a question here. So, is singularity here, the singularity in question here, more so in terms of its origin rather than because we're just appreciating all the uniqueness in creation. So, I guess once we're trying to understand the singularity here, is it more so in the context of its origin?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I agree with good. The single one of unity, it means we should understand again this. I think you are referring to this
Mm-hmm.
conclusion, correct?
Yes.
The single one of unity is the source of existence. One of unity means here, of course, that this is a translation of ahad. Ahad
Mm-hmm.
means absolute. Absolute means you cannot compare it to anything and you cannot add anything to it. You cannot, how do you say, deduce, take away anything from it. It is just an absolute. So, uh, like the infinite, number infinite, you cannot make it infinite by adding some numbers to infinite. It will become a bigger infinite. It's illogical. And also, you cannot take any number from infinite. It is illogical. Infinite means infinite. So unity means an infinite being. We call it infinite because it is the confusion as the mathematicians use infinite in a not absolute infinite, but relative infinite, as human beings cannot count it. But infinite is uncountable by definition. Not that human beings or the machines cannot count it, but it is by definition uncountable. It is not to be counted. That is why, to make the distinction between infinite, mathematicians use, we prefer in this discussion absolute. So a single one of an absolute being. Quran describes it in different in this ikhlas section of the Quran in ikhlas, which is called Surah Ikhlas. First introduce God as the one who made the universe. Huwa means he. Must be one, must be something. So, and then said he is absolute. And further explains his summit. Summit clarifies even more that when I say absolute, it means ahad. But be careful what I mean. You cannot add anything to it. You cannot subtract anything from it. It means you cannot imagine and liken it to anything else in the universe. Summit doesn't need any more number to become bigger, and you cannot take out any amount of number to make it smaller. No, summit means this. Every number comes out of it. You can take any imaginary number. It is in the infinite or absolute. And by adding some more number to it, you cannot make it bigger. It is already unimaginable capacity beyond any limitations. That's why people simply explain a summit in the Quran as everything needs a summit, and summit itself doesn't need anything. So I try to understand this in a logical way. It means whatever the number you can use, it is in the infinite or absolute ahad, and every number needs to come out of this infinite. It means production of this absolute being. And absolute, by human mind definition, doesn't need any more number itself. Otherwise, it cannot be absolute. If the source of existence of the universe did not have absolute qualities, for human mind, it is impossible to explain the existence of anything of this universe. Try to explain it. If the source of existence of the universe wasn't an absolute being, how can I explain infinite number of, I cannot count. That's why I use infinite here. Infinite number of existing beings continuously giving a new existence with no confusion, with no imperfection. Everything is perfect in its existence as it is given existence. In the creation, the acts of creation, there is no addition as the human beings make. For example, I put the parts aside, and one by one I add so that I will make the computer. That is why this huge plants or factories are made in order to assemble the parts of a machine, for example, of a car, assembling them. one by one. At the end, the car becomes perfect. But when we look at the universe, it is so mind-blowing. It is impossible to comprehend. But what is happening out there is obvious, but I cannot comprehend the absolute, how it makes it. But I know it is made, but I cannot explain how the source of existence makes it, because it is absolute. I cannot imagine absolute by definition. But the things are created in the universe, not in the way that the human beings do, assembles the parts and it becomes perfect. No, whatever is created in the form of a cell, that cell is perfect in and of itself, created. And then another stage of its existence, also perfect in and of its own creation. So it is not that parts are assembled, but the perfect being in a miniature form, a little bit different form, a little bit different form, and it takes within a perfect order, which demonstrates that consciously being created and controlled, and within an order. So there is an orderly creation, perfectly introducing himself. The source himself is introducing himself to conscious human beings. Whatever I am doing is not putting more and more perfection on it, just demonstrating that at every stage I create perfectly. A baby is a perfect creature. A child is a perfect creature, and the same child is created. A young adult is a perfect creation. It is not adding some more parts and assembling a new, putting another part and making it even more perfect. For example, we do memories, add some memory to the computer, so it becomes more powerful. Addition, but the creation is not like this. Every stage of its existence is perfect, but human mind compares them. This is what we have to understand. The child, we call it, child is becoming a young person. Teenager is becoming an adult. That is why we think, because the creation is so perfectly arranged, that we understand, we may delude ourselves, thinking that the things are improving by itself. So we have to be very careful to understand the absoluteness of the source of existence. That is why the last sentence challenges this. But this challenge is not a new challenge. It has been presented from we don't know historically as much as we know. The oldest source we have in our hand is Torah. So from the Torah tradition and continued the Bible tradition and the Quran tradition, they say the same thing. The creator of the universe is an absolute being, which is called Almighty God, which means you cannot measure his power. Almighty means almighty. You cannot compare his power to anything. So if we don't accept that a pomegranate is created by an absolute being, you cannot give existence by using all the possibilities in the universe, even one single pomegranate. So if you gave the whole word for it, it means if you employ all the possibilities within the universe, you cannot make it. Only the one who operates in the universe can give existence to a single pomegranate. That is a big challenge. Thousands of years, all the chain of revelation claims this. In the language of Torah, it is Elohim, which means in Arabic, Allah, in English, God. In the language of the Bible, my Father, my Lord, which means again, Rabb, in Arabic, which means Allah, Allahu Rabbul Alameen. In the language of the Quran, Allah, which means again, God, the Creator, whoever gave existence to it. We shouldn't speak as if we know God something as a physical existence. No, we have to accept that. We have to make it clear in our language that whoever has given the complete universe existence, whoever given existence to the complete universe, at every moment must be the same source. And this source cannot be described within the conditions of the universe. You cannot liken it to anything of this universe because the universe is his work. How can you liken the engineer of a computer to a part of a computer? Part of a computer is work. Engineer is a human being, impossible to imagine within the conditions of the computer. You cannot say that it is like the keyboard or it is not the mother, whatever they call it, mother what?
Motherboard.
Motherboard, thank you very much. It is not like the motherboard, which it is like motherboard. No, it is a human being, completely different existence. That is a perfect example which is created for us to understand the difference between the work and the doer of the work, the art and the artist, the book and the author of the book. Book is the paper, author of the book is a human being, completely different existence. So we should be confident in our conclusion by realizing that when I say God, what I mean by it, impossible to imagine, impossible to liken, but I am sure book must have an author, computer must have an engineer, universe must have a creator. That is called creator. Giving existence to something, everything in it, and it didn't exist before. For example, my old age did not exist 10 years ago. I am a completely different creature. But similar, that is the trick that we may fall into. Conformity and similarity. Similarity should not mislead us. You cannot say that 10 years ago, Ali, referring to myself, Ali is the same. No. 10 years ago, Ali was running. Today, cannot run. 10 years ago, Ali was a different person. When you look at my picture, if I sent my 10 years ago picture of my 10 years ago to the passport to give me this, to give me a passport, by looking at the picture, said, no, you are not like this one. You are a different person. You look like it, but not the same. So they say, take a new picture because you are a new creation, new being. So this time spent get closer, 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 and make it narrower, narrower. You can say and realize definitely, especially logically, yesterday's Ali is a different creation than today's Ali. This is an amazing demonstration of the Creator that leaves no room, no gap at all for suspicions, doubt. I don't know whether the things may exist by themselves. It happens like this. Energies continue. Where do they get this energy? Energy is an existence. Something existence. How did it come into existence? Or the energy has such and such qualities. Where is the source of existence of these qualities? Where do they get it? Can energy give existence to itself? Impossible to accept. Okay, I spoke a lot and I'm sorry, too much. All right, inshallah we can, or anybody would like to make comment, or shall we continue to read?
I'll continue then with the 10th flash.
Okay. Yep.
Sorry for the delay. Okay, 10th flash. Just as life, which displays a manifestation of divine beauty, is a proof of divine oneness and a sort of manifestation of unity, death too, which displays the manifestation of divine glory, is a proof of divine unity. For example, in God's is the highest similitude, by showing the sun's light and reflection, the bubbles on a wide flowing river which sparkle in the sun, and transparent objects which glisten on the face of the earth testify to the sun. On these tribes of bubbles and transparent objects disappearing, the continued magnificent manifestation of the sun and the uninterrupted and constant display of its light on the successive groups and tribes of bubbles and transparent objects which follow on after them testify decisively that the little images of the sun and the lights and flashes which appear and sparkle, flare up and die away, are changed and renewed, are the manifestations of an enduring, perpetual, elevated, single sun, whose manifestation is undying. That is to say, just as through their appearance and becoming visible, the shining droplets demonstrate the sun's existence, so with their disappearance and extinction, they demonstrate its continuation, permanence, and unity.
Oh, it's an interesting subject, death. So we don't like that. But death, so the life is the obvious demonstration of the Creator. So it is a quality. Life is a quality, not a physical thing. Quality that given to living beings. So life is an evidence for divine beauty, because we see that he is favoring. But we have to pay attention to the word divine. It means absolute. Divine means cannot be described within this universe, but it has an obvious existence. So absolute mercy, I would read it, divine beauty is absolute mercy. We love it. We love it. That is why it shows that, oh, something is giving this quality to dead, blind matter, creating the matter and giving a quality of a living being. So somebody is doing it because dead matter cannot be the source of existence of life. All the chemical reactions, they are all matter. They are all physical actions. It's a different creation. So the things cannot make their uh, chemical reactions among themselves. They are created with this quality that if two things come together under certain conditions, it becomes another being. But this is arranged. This is created in this way. So life is a quality. We cannot really, like, for example, my human feelings, I cannot really think of them coming from dead matter. So because the creation is so perfect, in its minute level, detail, it demonstrates a specific choice, specific act of creation. But unfortunately, if someone says, no, there is no creator, it will say, it is changing itself. Chemical reactions are happening by themselves. But we have to be careful. Can they choose by themselves? Do they have the quality to do it? Does energy have will so that it will perfectly arrange everything in such a way that they will continue their existence in a meaningful way, in a purposeful way? Impossible. That's why inequality, but especially life that we understand, is a sign of absolute mercy of the Creator who gave us life. We love it. But how about death? When we think about death, because we are given the sense, not like death. So we don't like death. But that is only that I shouldn't prefer death over life. That is why we are given this sense. This sense also cannot be created by matter. So it is this sense is the one who created me, gave me this dislike, the sense of disliking death. But the existence of death is another miraculous demonstration of the Creator, announcing it is divine glory. It means nothing. The absolute Creator is declaring, nothing can be like me. I will demonstrate it to you. You cannot find anything in the universe which is not subject to death, that I will create death. So it is the demonstration of the, if you like, the word Almighty, the Almighty Creator. Nothing can exist by itself. So I will make it sure that I will give death to all of them in order for you, or human beings, not to confuse that the things are by themselves continuing their existence. If they continue, if they could continue their existence, they would definitely prevent themselves from death. But no exception. Galaxies die, let alone animals, plants, especially human beings. Galaxies die, demonstrating that they are subject to the will of something else. They cannot escape from the will of their source of existence. So, example is very clear. This example of the bubbles. They come, they appear, demonstrate the sunlight reflected in them, and by dying or giving existence of the creator gives existence to them in a death form, demonstrates to human beings that the light did not come from the bubble, originated from the bubble. It disappeared, but still the next bubble shows it. We can make it more practical for us. I die, my child is given a life. My child dies, another baby is given a new life. What does it mean? My matter was not the source of existence of my light. It was just demonstrating the existence, necessary existence of life giver. That is what I am witnessing in my existence by dying. So death is not desired, but at the same time, I will be very happy if I am conscious, inshallah I am, when I am dying, I will say, in my death, oh my creator, because I am given consciousness. So with the consciousness, I understand. Oh my creator, by giving me the death, you are demonstrating that the life in me belongs to you and you are taking it away. And my creation, you are creating me in this way, is a means of demonstrating, announcing to everyone around me that life did not exist within me by itself, by my matter, by my body. You see, my body cannot keep it. So I am the witness of God's glory now. I have to be happy to be the witness to God's glory. So we don't desire death, but we love the creator of death, because only through death that I understand matter cannot sustain its existence at all, thanks to the creation of death. So death is not really the end of my existence. So I think this example makes it clear that this bubble example. Qasim, pleased to hear your voice as well.
Would it be wrong to desire death if this is the reality?
No, it is going against the sense of disliking death. Is it, it would be wrong to choose what my creator gave me the sense. I cannot deny this sense. Although I have been given free will, I cannot deny my reality. Some people deny their creator, but it doesn't change the reality. It doesn't change the reality because people deny it. So I may choose to commit suicide. I'm free to do that, but it is choosing against the way I am created. It means I am disobeying my creator's way of creating, misusing, abusing the freedom of choice. It means I have been given free will. I may abuse it by my free will, use it in a different way, in a wrong way. So the existence of, let me give you a simple example. An existence of a rotten orange. That's yesterday I experienced the real life experience. I bought, a few days ago, some onions. One of them was rotten completely in itself, but it the how do you say? What was the word for it? The outer part of the onion is uh, what was the word? They are very hard. They don't really easily rot. Very, inside the onion is white.
Onion peels,
Sorry?
peels or shell.
Shell. Let's call it shell. Yeah. So peels and outer peel. The shell of the onion looked okay. When I started cutting it, it was disgusting smell, right? That is a purpose of creation because you didn't preserve my mercy by creating the onion, and you didn't use it in time. And of course, I create the onion in such a way that if you don't use it in time, I make it rot so that you will understand either you should use it or give it to someone else needy, or don't buy it if you don't need it, if you are not going to use it. Keep it for a long time. So whatever, the creation of the rotten onion is a demonstration of many wisdom in this existence. I have to not to waste anything, use everything fresh, and enjoy the creation, or don't get more than what you need, don't pile up, lots of way. And also, as we read in this section, a fresh onion needs to be created, and by creating it in a rotten form, demonstrating that the particles of the onion was not the source of freshness. Why did they rot themselves? If they have the free will, if they have the power to create, why would they create kill themselves? So do we understand that the creator is demonstrating by creating the rotten onion that he is the one who created the fresh onion. And now it is taking it away, not the particles of the onion. It's beautiful. Creation is beautiful. Creation is perfect. But because it is beautiful and perfect in its existence, should I choose to eat it? That is my question to my friend, beloved friend, Qasim. So I
Right.
shouldn't
No.
choose it. That is obvious. So what I did, as soon as I threw it in the trash can, get the bag, plastic bag, tied it up. I don't want this to smell, and put it out of my house into the trash bin outside. Why? So disgusting. God is telling me that I shouldn't love it, but at the same time, its creation is perfect. I shouldn't eat it. Okay? So, shall we stop here? Let me see what one of my friends has written. I see. Skin of, no, thank you very much. Skin of onions. Thank you. So, in exactly the same way, what shall we do? Stop here or read until in short? You prefer. And what do you feel? How do you feel, my friends? Shall we stop here? Anyone?
I'm okay to stop here.
Okay, you prefer. So, and what do you think? Oh, and has dropped. Okay, let's stop here, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة